Don't give up on me, yeah. Don't give up on me, yeah.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, family? I don't know what's going on with this music right now, man. What's up? What's up? What's going on, YouTube? Let's light up the chat real quick as we go ahead and get this thing rocking and rolling, man. It's so hard to find. I got like the site, right? It's supposed to be like for streaming, you know, nice music. You know what I'm saying? No copyright, so I can play it on my YouTube without getting in trouble and stuff like that. But I don't know what, like, I just have not found the right music yet, man. This is insane. They be playing some wild stuff. But how is everybody doing tonight? I want to make sure you guys can hear me good. I want to make sure you can see me good. I want to make sure everything is going good before we go ahead and get this live started. As you guys know, I just recently moved into my new place. So the office isn't set up or anything like that. This is literally the second live stream that we're doing here. My office is kind of more in the back of the house. So I'm still trying to figure out if I need to get like one of those Wi-Fi extenders or something like that, because I got super fast internet. So that's not the problem. I'm just not sure if it reaches this far back. So let me know if the stream is going good, guys. All right, let me know how the stream is going and how everything is rocking and rolling. So I know it's kind of late, depending on where you are in the world, but I want to see exactly what we got going on, man. What we got going on. Where's everybody tuning in from? Let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure. I know we're live. Okay, let me pull this over here. Give me a second. There we go. Still getting used to this YouTube live stream, man. Still getting used to the YouTube live stream. All right, no matter where I put this screen at, it still doesn't look right. All right, there we go. So now we're getting the chat box in. Okay, so I did do something to my settings that it kind of delays the chat box a little bit. So I already know when I speak, it's going to be a light delay on the chat box, which it isn't a problem. All right, it really isn't a problem because I'd much rather have that and have some. All right. Oh, you know what? I have monetization. I don't like put monetization on live streams because then that messes up the live stream. Give me a second, guys. Let me fix something real quick. I don't want you guys getting interrupted by no ads, man. We don't want no ads on here. I want y'all to get the full information. Give me a second. All right, we should be good. We should be good. The ads are officially off. So everything should be kicking in. Let's get it. Let's get it. Looking good from Georgia. All right, so we got Atlanta. We actually got 2 people from Atlanta on here. Let's get it. Let's get it. So we got Georgia and we got Atlanta. So Georgia's the state, and then Atlanta's like a city in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Let's get it. Let's get it. We got Inglewood, California. We got NH in the house. I'm guessing, what is that? New Hampshire? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I wrong? Where are we? Where are we? What is it? All right. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna I think we're gonna get this thing rocking and kicked off right about now. I do want to see if we get a few more people on here. Numbers are looking good. Numbers looking good. And remember, guys, as you guys tune in right now, make sure y'all go ahead and smash that like button. So I got it right. It was New Hampshire. It was New Hampshire. Awesome, awesome. Tonight we're gonna be going over highly requested over and over and over again. So I had to do it, guys. But tonight we're gonna be going over support and resistance. And this is actually a special one because I've never done ever in my 2 years of being here on YouTube, I've never done a support and a resistance video. And I'd say, you know what? Instead of just doing some content, throwing some content out there and making a support and resistance video, finally, why don't I just go live, teach them live and in person how it is that I mark up my support resistance. And then from there, if there are any questions on the live, well, guess what? You guys got me here live, direct, and in person to go ahead and obviously answer those questions for you. So we should definitely be lit. All right. The stream is good. All right, so we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna get this thing kicked off right now, guys. I'm super excited, super fired up for this. Let me go ahead and pull up my Tradingview charts so that everything can be good there. All right, everything is good. So as I said, guys, as I mentioned before, tonight we are going to be going over support and resistance. And if you're just tuning in, again, I see the numbers climbing up. But again, I have never done a support and resistance trading on YouTube before. And I just wanted to go ahead and be able, again, to just come on live with you guys, kind of vibe out with you, and be able to kind of just show you how it is that I do support and resistance, how I mark up my charts while I'm trading. And I do want to give you guys a disclaimer from the very beginning. So a lot of you guys know already, obviously, if you've been following me for quite some time, I trade binary options. So I know there are a few of you here that probably subscribe to me through my MetaTrader 4 videos, and that's how you found me. To be honest, I haven't really traded MC4 in like 2-3 years. It's been binary options since I found it back in 2019, and I've been trading binary options ever since. Now, the reason why I'm telling you guys this is because the way that I mark up my support and resistance, number one, make it very clear. It works for me and it works for everybody that I've ever taught how to trade. But number two, it's very different than a lot of the videos that you guys see here on YouTube or in different courses or whatever the case may be. I do what works for me, and there's not a lot of binary options traders out there that really kind of go in depth. I would say honestly the way that I do, with exactly how to do the things that I do on the chart. So like exactly how I use my confirmations, exactly what indicators I use, exactly how I do support and resistance and stuff like that. Now, one of the biggest things, and I'll go ahead and pull up so you guys can see the screen. One of the biggest things that bothered me, and I'm sure a lot of you here can relate to it, but when I first started doing support and resistance, it absolutely turned me off with trading, right? I was so confused. I could never get it right. I didn't know if even my support and resistance lines were correct. And I feel like a lot of the times when it comes to trading, I always tell people trading is not complicated, right? It's actually a very simple concept if you can learn to get it down. It's not hard. It's a very simple concept. But the thing is, and by the way, there's a difference between, simple and easy, right? I'm not saying trading is going to be easy, but it is a very simple concept. And as we know, you guys have heard me say it plenty of times, is that the markets move in patterns, right? And these patterns happen over and over and over again, okay? So the markets move in patterns, the patterns happen over and over and over again. And what we want to be able to do is we want to be able to identify these patterns of this movement in the markets pretty much as it's happening or right before it happens so that we can get in and obviously make our money, all right? Now, when we're trading binary options, the reason why I love binary options so much is because, as you guys know, typically when you're trading MetaTrader 4 or any other, kind of style of trading, you typically want to have a large push in the market. You want to be able to catch a large amount of pips. So typically getting in at the very bottom and riding it all the way up to the very top, right? People go for, 30 pips, 50 pips, 100 pips, 2,000 pips, whatever the case may be. You want to have that big move to be able to be profitable in the markets. And a lot of times those big moves can take a couple of hours, if not a couple of days, if not a couple of weeks, depending on what kind of trader you are. I am a scalper in the market, which means I don't hold my trades for weeks. I don't hold my trades for days. I hold my trades for a couple of minutes. And when I first started scalping, I actually fell in love with the concept of scalping. But the issue is that everybody that I was learning from, right? Everybody that I was learning from was only teaching support and resistance. That was it. That's all they taught me was support, resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. And as someone that's brand new, that doesn't even understand how the markets move or how to read the markets or how to read candles and stuff like that, I found that support and resistance was a very complicated thing for me. And in fact, when I was drawing up my support resistance, it became a thing where, and I'm sure a lot of you here can relate to it, but, I had so many different lines. Like, this is how my screen used to look when I first started trading, right? Drop a 7 in the chat real quick, guys. Let's see how many people we have on here. Drop a 7 in the chat if you feel like you just draw way too many support and resistances on your charts. This is how my charts used to look, man. I used to look at them, and I used to be like, okay, this is the bottom, this is the top, this is the bottom, this is the top. And it was just a bunch of lines, a bunch of lines, a bunch of lines. And then that leaves you asking yourself, okay, well, which ones are the right ones, right? Which ones are the ones that I should be looking at right now or, utilizing for my entries? And I found very quickly, and this is, the beautiful part about being, honestly, in the network marketing space, is that I was trading within a community of people that were all learning with me. And I found out very fast that I was not the only person that had this issue. And once I found out that I wasn't the only person that had this issue, I said, well, you know what? Something's got to give. If we're all having the same problem, we're all brand new here, none of us is getting the support and resistance thing, how can we change that? And then that's when I found indicators, right? I started learning from this guy. At the time, his name was David, and he had this strategy, or Davin, he had this strategy that was pretty much all indicator based. And it was very, beginner friendly. And that's when I came up with like the 3-step setup, the strategy that you guys see here on YouTube that I usually post up, with the Bollinger Bands, the stochastic, and the DMI, right? I came up with that. And the 3-step setup is literally just a setup to be able to go ahead and get into the trade. But what I always tell people is that obviously if you just start off with indicators, right? The goal is to always get better and then eventually learn SRTs like support, resistance, trends, and stuff like that. But as I got better and better at indicators and I built the confidence to be able to place the trades on my own and start making some kind of money, naturally I started to understand the markets a little bit better. I started to identify, levels of support and resistance a little bit better. And then that's when I started to learn how to actually teach it in a very, very simplified form. So this is what I tell everybody, and I want you guys to follow along with me, understand what it is that I'm saying, and follow along with me, okay? So we're gonna just, not focus on the indicators right now. All right. As a matter of fact, to make it even simpler, I'm just gonna take this off. We're just gonna focus on what's on the screen, okay? And so what I always tell people is that if you want to know what's gonna happen next in the market, right? This is everyone's biggest thing. If you want to know what's gonna happen next in the market to the right, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to start focusing on and looking at the left. Okay, so if you want to know what's going to happen to the right side of the screen, which is the future, you're going to have to start looking into the past, right? So let's just say, for example, I'm going to start right here because in this area we have nothing but like consolidation, so I don't really want to start there. I'm going to start here. Okay, so let me go ahead and market replay for you guys real quick, and we're going to bump back to this area right here. All right, to this space. Okay, so let's say the market is coming. Obviously, the market's pushing its way up. Let me go ahead. I'll move back even more for you guys. Okay, let's move back to here. All right, let's say the market is pushing its way up. Okay, markets are going up, markets going up, markets going up. And obviously, as the markets are going up, what should be the goal for you guys? You should be looking for, if the markets are pushing up heavy, right, and they've been going up for a pretty long time, should you be looking for buys or should you be looking for sells in the market? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. I want to be interactive with you guys as well. All right. Sells, right? Sells. There you go. Right? You never want to, especially when you're trading time-based, right? When you're trading binary options, you don't want to just rush in and get into a market that's already moving in a specific direction. When we're trading binaries or when you're scalping, even on MT4, the goal is to get in for the reversals, right? So if the markets has already been pushing up, we're not just going to blindly jump in on an upwards push if you're looking to scalp or if you're trading binary options. You don't want to get in on that buy. You want to wait for the next reversal. So the next reversal in this case is going to be a reversal to the downside, right? So now the question is, okay, well, how do I know when it's going to come down? How many of you here, all right, I know there's a good amount of you here. How many of you here know my three-step setup? How many of you here know the strategy that I trade, the three-step setup with the Bollinger Bands, the stochastic, and the DMI? All right, how many of you here know it? Just drop a 1 in the chat. If you guys know the three-step setup, drop a 1 in the chat for me real quick. Okay, 1 in the chat. Okay, now if you do know the three-step setup, okay? Okay, so yeah, so we got a few people here that know it. Someone said kind of, not too much. We'll do another training on that. So the thing is okay, so if we're looking at the three-step setup, obviously we have, let's just say hypothetically, we're not going to look at all three because that's not the focus for today. But obviously we're already at the top Bollinger Band, right? Which is that overbought market that we talk about, overbought. And then we're also at the overbought area of the stochastic, right? So we have both overboughts on here. Obviously, it's just 2 out of 3 steps. We're not gonna, like I said, just bear with me for a second, right? So now that we got our setup, the next thing that we should be doing is looking to identify or solidify our entry points, right? So when we're talking about solidifying our entry points, okay, as you guys know, my favorite point of entry is always the excuse me, the stochastic cross. So when our stochastics cross each other going in the direction that we're looking to trade, that is typically where I'm looking to get in. But when we're talking about price, right, because that's time. When you're trading binaries, you have to understand you're trading based off of time and price, right? Time and price is what we're trading based off of, right? Time and price. So that's time that we're looking at. But what price should we be looking to get in at? That's the big question. So when you're thinking about price, price is where your support and resistance are going to start coming into play. Now, remember what I said. When we're looking at support and resistance, the tops and the bottoms of the market, to be able to tell what's going to happen next, you're going to have to look in the past, right? You're going to have to look to the left, okay? Now, what I do is I do things completely different. I know people that get on the charts on Monday or Sunday and they do their markups for the entire week. But when I trade binary options, I'm only in these trades for about 3 to 5 minutes, right? Sometimes 15. But for the most part, 3 to 5 minutes is my position times. So I can't get on Monday, right, and mark up for the entire week. That just doesn't work for me. It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm sure if I did that, I'd probably get maybe some more accurate trade setups. But I want to have a combination of what I call accuracy and frequency in the market. What I mean by that is my trades are both accurate, high probability trades, but I'm also able to get into at least 2 to 4 positions every morning that I trade, and I'm done trading within about 30 to 40 minutes, sometimes an hour. And you guys have seen that throughout the years as I posted the live trading sessions that I've been posting here on my channel. You guys see I always, again, all these videos are about maybe 30 minutes to an hour of trading, 2 to 4 positions, and I'm absolutely done. Now, I say that to say this. When I'm doing support and resistance, a lot of the times, if I don't already have it marked up on my screen, then what I'm doing is I'm looking at right now the current state of the market. So I'm looking at right now where the market is at. And if I have my 3-step setup, right? If I have all 3 confirmations that are already in place, and now I'm just looking for a potential entry point, then what I do is I say, okay, well, now that we're looking for a potential entry point, let's start identifying some price zones that we may be looking to get into this trade. Now, what I do is I look for what I call reactions, okay? Reactions in the market. So I want you guys to write that down. Reactions. All reactions there's 2 things. There's 2 types of reactions that we typically want to look for in the markets, okay? This is the stuff, I'm telling you, you're not going to find this stuff on YouTube, man. This is the stuff that people put in courses. So thank me later, okay? I'm going to break this down so easy and so simple for you. Watch, okay? Look. So reactions in the markets are just going to be this. You have breaks and you have bounces. That's it. Breaks and bounces. All right? One more time. Breaks and bounces. So if the current market is pretty much in this area right here, and I'll just go ahead and let's just say we're looking at these candles and we're saying the markets are currently in this area, right? We're just looking at this area randomly. Then what I want to do is I want to look to the past and see if we had any market reactions within this area. Again, we're looking for breaks and or bounces, okay? So as I'm just making my way back, and you can take this right here. You can take the rectangle if you want and kind of just go all the way back if you want, right? But as I'm taking this thing back, now you're seeing, okay, and I don't know if you guys can see it yet, but we can clean it up after. After we go to the past, we can start to clean it up. How do you clean it up? So you're going to take, what I like to do is an average of wicks and bodies, right? Wicks and bodies. That's how I typically find, my zones, okay? Wicks and bodies. So if we're looking at this, for example, and obviously everyone has the crosshair. So you guys see my crosshair moving on my screen. What I just like to do is look at the current market, and I just line up reaction points. So, for example, if I take my crosshair and I put it right here at this previous reversal, okay? Previous reversal right here. And we look at the amount of reactions that we got at that same exact price point, okay? I'll go ahead and circle it if you guys can't see what I'm talking about here. But this right here, this is the previous big reversal that we got. If I put my crosshair exactly on that, we can look to the left-hand side of the screen, and we can see that it lines up with this reaction. We have reactions over here, right? I'm just doing it nice and slow for you guys. Remember, I said breaks and bounces, so we got some small bounces here. We got a break here, a huge break to the upside, a break back to the downside, comes up and retests the same area. So we got another reaction there. So my point is this. Here's a question to you guys. Would this be a good price for a potential reaction? Yes or no? All right. Looking at where the market is at now, you guys see this huge wick came up and shot all the way up to this same exact price. So would that be a good price? Yes or no in the chat. Would that be a good price for a potential reaction? Okay. See, when I talk about support and resistance, I make it very simple because I don't really say support and resistance much. I just look for reactions. whether it's reactions to the upside, reactions to the downside. I already know subconsciously if the markets are below my reaction point, then that reaction point is going to be a potential resistance. If the market is above my reaction point, then that reaction point is going to be a potential support. So if we're just looking at this area right here, you guys see, obviously we got some nice reactions going on there. All right, and I'll go ahead and just take away all those circles. And instead, what we can do is we can take some lines. So we'll take the lines. All right. You can clean it up a little bit, right? Boom. Take some more lines. Maybe put it right around here. Let's, again, line them up with reactions. So the reason why I would do it, I'll say probably about here. And you can always adjust as you're trading. But I'm seeing, this is what I'm seeing here. So we got reaction, 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 reaction. There's reactions there. There's reactions here in this area. We got some wicks here, some wicks here. We got a break here, right? So what I would do is this, very simple. Hopefully you guys are following me. We're going to do a few examples so that you guys can see. I would just box this off and make this my potential resistance zone. So it's going to be my sell area. All right. Now remember, I only mark up my support and resistance as I am currently trading. Okay. I don't do it beforehand. And no, I do not go up 3 time frames above. All right. Because I'm scalping. I'm trading binary options. In binary options, you don't have to check too many time frames to be able to get this. And I know that confuses a lot of people as well. Because with the person I was learning from, he always told me you have to check the 4 hour, you have to check the 1 hour, you have to check the 30 minute, you got to check the 5 minute, all these different time frames, man. It hurt my brain. I couldn't do it anymore, right? I said enough is enough, okay? So when I trade, I tell people I really only focus on 3 time frames, which is the 3 minute, the 5 minute, and the 15 minute. This is major salts right here. So hopefully you guys are paying attention. And obviously you're on YouTube, so you can always come back and rewatch it, right? So 3 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute. I never really go above the 15 minute when I'm trading binary options. Now again, this is for binary options or scalping MT4. So I don't want to see the long-term traders in the comments telling me why I need to look at the 4 hour time frame or the daily. Okay, we're not talking about that. I don't hold my trades as long as you do. All right, so it's not relevant. Okay, I look at the short-term time frames because I'm in for a short-term period of time. All right, so just very simply, I would do something like this before the market even makes its move to where it is that I think it might be going. Now, again, remember, guys, what's my solidified entry point? For everyone that knows the 3-step setup, what's the solidified entry point that we're looking for before we determine if we get into the trade? All right. Someone said my mic is bugging. Is my mic messing up or something? Let me know in the chat, guys. Let me put on my AirPod real quick to see how I sound. Great. There's always some issues, man. Oh yeah, so I hear it. I hear the static. Hold on. All right. Give me a second. All right. Was it like that the whole time? I think it might be fixed now, actually. I think it might be good. All right, cool. So yeah, I think it's good now. I don't know what was going on. I think it's because I had too many microphones. I had both of my phones were open on the live stream, so I just turned that one off and it went off. So could have been some mic interference there, but I think we should be good. All right. All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna close the live stream. I'm gonna close the live stream on my phones. If there are any issues, let me know in the chat, because I do check the chat. All right, so we're gonna do that, and we're gonna see if that helps it. I think it was just the interference with the mic. So we should be good now. All right. So like I was saying, all right, back to what I was saying before, guys. So what is my solidified entry point? What's my favorite point of entry? Okay, when we're looking at the 3-step setup, where do we look to enter? Who here knows? Who here knows? The cross. There you go. Boom. All right. So so you few guys are getting it. So the cross, the stochastic cross, is where I look to enter. Now, here's the tricky part, because as you guys see, and I'll go ahead and I'll rewind for you. Okay. Oops, wrong button. So I'll rewind for you real quick, right? This is why this is actually very important. And again, this is Major Sauce, man. I shouldn't even be dropping this on YouTube right now, but I am, okay? This is not even part of the training, but I'm going to give you guys another tip real quick, all right? So when we talk about the stochastic cross, a lot of people get stuck on the stochastic cross because what happens is that a lot of the times, especially when you have a really strong push to the upside, a lot of the times you might get a cross and then an uncross, right? A cross and then an uncross, a cross and then an uncross, okay? So what happens is, look at this candle real quick. I want you guys to watch the stochastic, okay? I'm going to go to the next candle. Look at the stochastic. Cross, boom, uncross. You guys seen that? All right. Cross, uncross. You guys seen that? So this is the market playing tricks with you, right? So this is where people get into early, and then what happens? The markets continue to go up, and then they lose the trade, and then they start to question what they did wrong, and so on and so forth. It has nothing to do with you and everything to do with your timing. Remember, when we're trading binary options, we're trading based off of what? Time and price, right? Time and price. So what I always recommend to people is look, when you get your cross, by the way, we're at that resistance level. Remember, we plotted this resistance level not based off of what's happening here. What did we do? We went to the past, and we just found reactions in the market, right? Multiple reactions at this price point, and we went ahead and we made it a potential sell zone, right? That's how I did it, all right? But as we move forward, as you guys are going to see, boom, we get the nice bounce right there in the sell zone. So boom, bounce in the resistance area, okay? We get our stochastic cross, boom, and then here's the key. Here's the key. It's going to change your life. Trust me. The key is that you don't get in until the candle closes, okay? So everybody that was getting in, well, you got the cross and then the uncross, and the cross and then the uncross, and the cross and then the uncross, you were getting in too early. You want to wait for the candle confirmation. You want to see that candle close in the direction that you're looking to trade. So if you went ahead and you entered this at the close, you got the stochastic cross, you got a nice bounce off of resistance, the candle closed with a sell or a bearish candle, and then you went ahead and entered. Obviously, you see there, you would have cleared that trade, right? Going down. Boom, 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 right? You guys following? All right. Now, obviously, if you're trading binary options, you would have been clear by now. You've been out of this trade. There's no reason why you would have still been in this trade. What is that? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 40 minutes before it came right back to entry. All right. You shouldn't even be in the trade that long, but 40 minutes before it came back to entry. All right. But what I wanted to show you guys was the most important thing. Obviously, I wanted to show you why and how we cleared that. But the most important thing is understanding how I even got this potential resistance area. Okay, and that's the biggest thing is, again, we look into the past to tell what's going to happen in the future. All right, remember, we started this thing off right here. Right, we started it off back here. We can even go further back, honestly. But as long as you see the markets coming up, your question should be, especially once you're getting your confirmations to start getting into that trade, the question is okay, now that all the confirmations are coming through and everything like that, all right, what price or what price points should we start looking at to get into a trade? As a matter of fact, I just put, look at this. I just put a video on Instagram. If you guys aren't following me on the Instagram, by the way, right? If you're not following me on Instagram, definitely check it out. I just put on my story. My son is 5 years old. and we trade all the time. He has a demo account on his iPad, but it's always based off of that price. I always wait, and sometimes, and I always tell people it pays to wait, right? You gotta be patient, and you gotta be willing to wait for your setup. And here's why: I'd much rather wait for the setup and potentially miss the trade, not lose anything, than to rush the setup, get into a trade, and make a stupid mistake and lose, right? So it pays to wait. And I was actually, you guys aren't going to see it too well, but on my gram, right? If you guys go to my Instagram, make sure you're following the right one, by the way. It is exactly the same as my YouTube. No underscores, no symbols, no numbers, none of that. Okay, exactly the way it is my YouTube. There's a lot of scammers out there. I would never ask you to send me money, all right? Just to clarify. But if you guys go to my story, you're going to see, okay, there was a point where he wanted to get into the trade. And he was like, let's do it. And I was like, no. All right. I asked him, did you get your crisscross? Because I call it stochastic crisscross with him, right? But the real thing is that everything was lining up, but the markets were still pushing up. And he didn't understand it. You got to wait. You got to wait till it reaches the top. You want it to reach the top, and you want to get your crisscross. You want to wait for that move. You can't just get excited and jump in because you see it start to come down. If you don't get your confirmations, you don't get into that trade, right? So even if, like in this example right here, we're on this chart and we see that we're at the top Bollinger Band. We see that the stochastic is looking good, right? I'm not sure where the DMI is at, right? So the DMI wasn't good at all, right? So we see everything is starting to line up. This is still not the point where we're going to sit down and we're going to say, okay, let's look for this trade entry. No, we're going to sit here and say, well, number one, we got to wait for the cross. But number two, where is the nearest price point that we could potentially be looking for? How do you do that? You simply just go to the left-hand side of the screen and you look at all the different reversals that were here and where you have the most reactions. And the most previous reversal that we got is obviously this one. So that's typically where you might want to start. You'll start here. You'll take your crosshair. You'll line it up and you'll say, okay, well, based off of that, I see some nice reversals here. I see a nice reversal right here to the downside. Reversal here to the downside. We got a bounce here to the up, right? We got a nice consolidation until eventually it breaks. Remember I said breaks and bounces. We got a bounce right here, right? We got bounces over here, and we have bounces over here, right? Then what do we also have? So obviously this is the top. That's the top. And then we have the bottom. So the bottom would be, we got bounces here, some consolidation. Am I still live? Am I still live, guys? Let me know in the chat real quick. Am I still live? All right, cool. All right, my computer is telling me that the live stream stopped. I think I got to clear some space, man. I'm just going through it, man. This move got my head all over the place. I've been moving it. It ain't looking good right now. But so back to what I was saying. So you're seeing this little sell zone right here. This is where obviously we're looking at where the market is currently at, and we're telling ourselves, well, look, we didn't get our cross yet, so we didn't solidify the entry point, but also we're not yet at our sell zone. We're not at that resistance. So what do we know? We know that we're not going to get into this trade until we come up towards this little yellow boxed area. So before it even happens, we know it's going to happen based off of what happened in the past. And then obviously if we continue up, obviously it wicks it, boom. And then we get the drop that we were looking for. All right. We get the drop that we were looking for. All right. Yeah, guys, my bad if the stream freezes and whatnot. Like I said, I just moved into this apartment. I never had problems with streaming before, but I'm assuming because my office is now in the back of the house, it's not really picking up the best feed. So I got to look into that. I'll look into that and I'll have that fixed. But I'm the type of person that I like speed, right? So I like speed over perfection. I'd much rather just get on here, get this stuff to you guys, and get it out there with a little bit of hiccups and stuff like that, than to sit here and be, trying to perfect it and say, I'm not going to do a live stream until I figure out everything that's going on in this house. I'm already dealing with the whole move itself, right? So you got the move, you get your kids in the new school and everything like that, new routines, so on and so forth. So I just like to take action, man. I'm an action taker. For everyone that knows me on a personal level, I'm an action taker. I just go. I just go, man. I'm a fireball. But as long as you guys get the message, man, that's all that matters. All right. All right, cool. So does that make sense to you guys, though? Does that make sense? Now, the cool part about it is that once you mark up the support, resistance, and stuff like that, what I like to do is I'll keep it up there, because sometimes you can come back, in a few hours. Sometimes you can come back the next day, and you're gonna see the markets reacting off of those same price points, right? Off of the same price points, and you're able to get in and obviously get into some more positions, so on and so forth, right? So let's see if we can get any. All right. Not too many, but let's see. I'm gonna just keep going forward, and we'll see based off of that. But obviously, at the beginning of the live, we said that obviously it was consolidating, which is why we started from back there. But even then, like just coming and obviously looking at, so I already this is the current market right here, right? So it's the current market. But even then, just looking at it, right, from this point over to everything that happened before, after that, you guys are seeing, obviously, look, from here, you can bounce off the top Bollinger Band. This was actually, it wasn't all the way at the sell zone, but it was actually at your previous entry point, right? And I looked for that as well, right? The previous entry, okay? But you got that, so you got your stochastic, previous entry, stochastic cross, the Bollinger Band, everything was looking good, and it dropped. Same thing here, and you got the drop. Now, this is actually what I really like about this, aside from those things, is once you get this down and you can start marking this kind of stuff up, then you can also get good at the break and the retest as well. And I'm actually more of a break retest kind of trader. I don't trade the range too much. If you guys know me, I trade a lot in the direction of the actual market, so where the markets is going, and then also breaks and retests, right? Breaks and retests. So what I mean by that is that if we're looking at over here, obviously this was our resistance back here, and we marked this up as resistance. Well, eventually, resistance becomes new support, and support becomes, obviously, old resistance, right? It happens over and over again. It cycles. So if we're looking, obviously, into the future, boom, 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 it comes back. What happens right here? We came back to, obviously, that resistance level, right? Comes up, comes back down, retest on the top side, and then you get a nice shoot up, or 1, 2, 3. So if you got an in, that was 5, 10, about 15 minutes onto the upside. All right. So that's that. And the stochastic cross was right there as well. Right. Then you got this one, comes back down, retest on the top. Boom. Right. Same thing. Now, obviously, these markets are way too small. So I'm not saying that you would have taken these trades, but I'm just showing you that you can find, again, you can use these same price points for future setups as well. Okay, if that makes sense. Hopefully that does make sense. All right. Now, another thing is that when you're trading, okay, with the Bollinger Bands, okay, and I always advise this to people too. Again, I'm not much of a range trader. I like to trade in the direction of the markets. I don't really like to trade the quick reversals up and down. I used to do that when I first started trading, but then I just found that trading in the direction, the trend, is just, in my opinion, just a lot more accurate. But if you guys are range traders, and let's say you trade around this time of night, so you're trading Tokyo session is one of the slowest moving market sessions, right? So it's just a lot of ranging markets. It's very easy to identify, like support and resistance and stuff like that. But when you're trading Tokyo, a lot of times you're trading the range. What I always advise to people is when you're trading, you don't want to typically see the Bollinger Bands too small, right? When you have those really small Bollinger Bands, that is consolidation. Your best bet is either just going to trade another pair or just not trading. I don't like to trade consolidation. So in my opinion, the way that I categorize it, because a lot of the times when you're looking at a range, a lot of traders can, they would consider a ranging market consolidation, right? But when we're trading binary options, remember, we're not looking for big moves. We can be correct in one candlestick, one point in the market, and we can still make all of our money and still be correct, right? So my point is that it's very simple, all right? When you're trading the range, the difference between a range and consolidation is that in a range, you can see a nice set price range, okay? And let me see if I can find a good one for you guys.
of like a range that I would actually probably trade. All right. I don't want to spend too much time looking for it, but a range, by the way, guys, for those of you who don't know, because I know there are some brand new people here, a range is where the price, oh, here's a good one. A price is just, the price is just bouncing up and down between a specific price range. That's why it's called a range, right? So you're getting them same price points, you know, price is bouncing, equal lows, equal lows, equal lows, equal lows, equal highs, equal highs, equal highs, so on and so forth. So when you're getting those equal highs and equal lows, you know, you can consider that a pretty solid range that the market is obviously, you know, going in. Whereas consolidation, in my opinion, the way that I trade it, consolidation is just simply this, right? Where the markets may be moving sideways. Both of them are sideways movements. The range and consolidation are sideways moving markets. But consolidation, when I look at it in trading binaries, is the sideways moving markets where your candlesticks are almost identical in size. So it's like you're not really getting much movement to the point where I wouldn't feel confident placing this trade and it only going up, you know, 2 pips, right? I want to make sure that if I get in, there's going to be a nice push to the upside. And that's more of a larger range, right? So the larger range, I like to trade the big range. I don't like to trade these small, you know, consolidated kind of areas, if that makes sense. Hopefully that does make sense. And it might be a little bit more, I wouldn't necessarily say advanced, but a little bit more advanced for some of the newer people on the stream. But if you guys know the difference between range and consolidation, then you know what it is that I'm talking about. So the reason why I was saying that is, you know, this area right here, this is a little bit more consolidation than it is range. But even so, you know, looking at this and zooming in, again, we talk about, you know, what happened in the past to kind of determine what's going to happen in the future. If we're looking, let's just say hypothetically, where's my rewind tool? Markets are coming down. Let's just say we're making our way to the bottom Bollinger Band and we're looking at, you know, this setup over here. So if we're looking at this and we see markets coming down, we're approaching that bottom Bollinger Band, right? We're oversold on the stochastic as well. We're going to do this one last example, and then I'm going to go ahead and hit the chat for some questions. And then we're going to wrap it up for tonight. But oversold right here. So we got over our confirmations, right? We're waiting to solidify the entry. So we got the time, right? Confirmations, everything is looking good, time, and let's go. This is the right time to start looking for an entry. Now we're going to say, okay, what's the right price area that we should be looking for a potential entry? So what you'll do is again, I just use my crosshairs and I just come on over and I say, okay, let's just say, for example, I see, look, we got some reactions here. So literally right next to where we're about to get in, there was a nice bounce off of here, off the middle Bollinger Band. We got a bounce off of that middle Bollinger Band. Right here, we got a break. We got a candle that comes down, retest on the top side before it shoots up. So we got a break and a bounce right there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but let me know. Right, so this huge candle shot up, broke that level, comes down and bounces on the top, and then shoots up again. So that's a reaction point there. We got reactions over here. We got reactions over here. Same thing here. We got a break, retest, drop, reactions here. Even if we're going all the way in the past over here, got some bounces here, some bounces here, some bounces here. Do you guys see that in the chat? Let me know if you see that in the chat. Let me know if you guys see that before I move on. What it was that I was just looking at. Remember, I said breaks and bounces, right? Breaks and bounces. That's what I'm looking for. So as I'm looking here, I say, you know what? This might be a good potential price point or price range to be looking for maybe the buy zone, right? This might be my buy zone over here. Now, how do we clean this up? Well, remember, I told you guys, what I like to do is I look at wicks and bodies, right? So I'm going to take some wicks here. So we got some wicks. All right, I'll probably take another one. I just like to personally, I like to do the zones. I like the whole zone thing, to be honest with you guys. But I'll do that. Try to clean it up. So we got some reactions here, reactions here. Boom, boom. All right. We got a bunch of wicks in this area. So you guys see the amount of wicks and bodies that we have in this little zone. So I'll go ahead, zone that up. And now I know, again, this is very small. This is a consolidated market right here. It's straight consolidation. But I'm just showing you guys an example on how it would be that I would look at this, right? So I would know as the market comes down into this area right here, okay, and I can even make it even smaller if I wanted to. We can move that up a little bit more. Maybe put it like right about there, right? So if the market comes up into this yellow area here, I know that this is my potential buy zone. So as long as it comes down in here, I get what? I get my confirmation to enter the trade, and then maybe a candle confirmation as well. Then what do? We go ahead and we place that trade. All right. And as you guys can see, comes down, wicks it. Okay, wicks it. Boom. So we got the candle confirmation. We got the stochastic cross as well. And we would have entered that. And then obviously, as small as it is, you still would have cleared that. Boom. It's a beautiful part about binary options. All right. 10 minutes later, it still didn't come back down to entry. All right. 15 minutes later, still not back down at entry. All right. 20 minutes. No. 25 minutes. No. 30 minutes. So on and so forth. All right. So about 35 minutes. Nope. Not even. Still not back down at entry. It wicked entry, but the candle didn't close there. So that's 35 minutes later. 40 minutes. All right. Let's just cut it off there. Again, just about 40 minutes before it even came back down, and you would have lost that trade. But again, we're trading binaries, man. You're in, quick, in and out. So it is possible to trade these smaller consolidated areas. Do I personally do it? No, I don't do it. But it is possible. And again, just going based off of, and the real goal here was to show you guys how it is that I think about support and resistance, how I identify my reaction points, and how I mark up these zones to be able to trade right now, right? I'm not worried about, marking up for the entire week or whatever the case may be, because again, I'm only in these trades for about 3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. If I think I might need some more time, 15 minutes at most, right? But I'm never in for longer than that. So I don't need to check the 1 hour, the 4 hour, the daily, the weekly, and all that other stuff. It's irrelevant to me. So I cannot mark up for the entire week. Now, can I reuse these price points for the future? Yes, that's different though. Reusing the price points that you're already trading on is different than obviously just marking up one time and waiting a whole week for the markups to come right back to that spot. It's a different style of trading, so you have to have a different mentality with it as well, right? Now again, obviously we look. So we got this one right here. Market comes back down. It uses the same exact price again. Boom. You got your stochastic cross again. Boom. That was another potential entry right there. All right. Off of that same exact price point. See if it comes back again. All right. And no, I don't think it came back again. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and hit up the chat box really quick before we go ahead and wrap it up. All right, cool. So now we're at the live market. All right. So hopefully all of that made sense to you guys. I probably went a little bit fast, but the beautiful part is that you can go back and replay it. And of course, if you guys have any questions, man, you can always drop your questions in the comments. I am a lot more attentive to my YouTube now, so we're bringing back the fire on this YouTube page, doing what we got to do. So I'm going to hit the chat box really quick and start answering some questions from y'all, all right? So let's see what we got here. All right. Wow, we had a lot in the chat. All right, hold on, let me see. All right. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's scroll up. I'm gonna scroll up to the static part. Yes, this is paid goods, as Nova said. Let's go. All right, wait for the next one. Yup, wait for that next candle. Yes, absolutely, man. Listen, I tell everybody that. Listen, I don't care. And look, I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. I do not care if your broker or if your platform allows you to trade and like do your markups and analysis on the platform. Use an actual trading platform or charting platform aside from your binary options broker, okay? So what I mean by that is if you trade on Nadex, if you trade on Pocket Option, wherever you trade, use the broker to execute your trade. Still use a charting platform like Tradingview so that you can get your analysis, you can use the proper tools and stuff like that. And then what you want to do is once you get your trade, you're going to go ahead and you're going to implement it on the actual broker, all right? There's a few reasons to that too. Another reason which, I don't really talk about too much, no one really talks about, is the fact that in binary options, a lot of the times these broker prices are just off, right? And that's something that you want to pay attention to, especially when you're choosing a broker. A lot of times these prices are off. I would tell people, number one, don't trade OTC, because if you trade OTC, OTC stands for over the counter. So those are over the counter prices. Those are not the actual market prices. So my point is this, is that if your broker price does not match up with your TradingView price, then your broker price is incorrect. Okay, it's not correct. TradingView is always going to be right. Okay, and yes, it might be off by maybe like 2 pips, 3 pips, or something like that. Maybe sometimes even 5 pips, depending on like spread, how the markets are moving, depending on what time you're trading, right? But if there is a significant difference in the price from your broker to TradingView, then something's not adding up. There's a problem, okay? And you should not be trading that. So just wanted to throw that out there, all right? All right. So yes, using TradingView on Nadex is the truth. All right. All right. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm gonna do real quick, guys? Because I hate sitting here. I hate sitting here in like silence as I read through the comments. So I'm gonna play some background music. We're gonna play some background music as I read through the comments and do it like that. That's like really upbeat. I put laid back music. All right. Either way, we should be good, and that shouldn't be too loud for you guys. I don't think so. All right. All right, so let's get back to the comments real quick. Let's go, let's go. Someone said thank you for your time. No problem. Hey, I told you guys I was gonna be way more active with these lives, and just putting content up. You know, especially now that I'm officially moved in. My office obviously isn't done yet, but to be honest with you, I've set up so many offices in like the last 2 years. I've moved so much. It's like it's insane. But I just really don't. I'm at the point where I don't even know what to do with this room anymore. I don't even want to set it up. My computer is good and everything like that. I just got to get like a Wi-Fi extender or something like that, and I'm good. But I'm not even trying to make this thing look fancy or anything. I'm over it, man. I'm over the fancy stuff. All right, let's see. Let's go, let's go. Yes, find the trends, man. The trend is your friend. Look, I'm going to give you guys some thoughts. The trend is your friend until it bends. If no one's ever told you that, I'm going to tell you guys tonight. The trend is your friend until it bends. I always recommend trading in the direction of the market. Don't go against the trend. All right? Yeah, when those bands come together, it's like a rubber band, right? When the Bollinger Bands come together, typically you're expecting to see a big bow, like a slingshot, like a move after. So you want to look for that. Don't trade inside those tight, Bollinger Band areas. Yeah, it's like that sometimes. Sometimes the market's and it also depends on the time that you're trading. Right? Bong Nova, what time do you trade? What time do you trade? Oh, what session do you trade? Divergence is fire. I know how to trade divergence. I haven't gotten it to the point where it's like second nature for me yet. So I don't pay too much attention to it. But one of my trading mentors, actually one of the guys that I learned a lot from in trading, he pretty much is like divergence. That's all he trades. But again, I'm a very simple trader, which is why I trade binary options, and he trades MT4. So I'm more of the simple style. So divergence is a little way. I'm not gonna say it's a little advanced for me, but it's something that I have to think about. Like when I'm looking for it, I have to think to look for it. Whereas my style of trading, the way that I trade a lot of the times, it's like second nature. I already know what I'm looking for. I can identify a setup like this, and I'm good. Does anyone know what broker he's using? I wasn't using a broker just now. This was Tradingview. So I was using Tradingview, which is a charting platform. It's not a broker. All right. But yeah. I personally, I only use 2. Two brokers. I personally use Nadex and Pocket Option. I like Pocket Option more. Pocket Option is more of the traditional style of binary options. I've never had an issue with Pocket Option, so that's why I use it. I'm not saying they're perfect. I don't work with them. All right, listen. They have customer support. All right, it's my point. They have customer support. I am not customer support. I'm a trader on the platform just like you are. So, yeah, Nadex, same thing. All right, I'm not customer support. Nadex is good because obviously they're regulated. In the United States, they're actually regulated in I think around 38 countries, if I'm not mistaken. So all you guys have to do is you go to the actual website and you'll type in, what I usually type in is countries, right? Or countries allowed or something like that in the little search bar. And then you'll see on the first drop down, there's going to be a link to show you all the countries that Nadex is allowed in if you guys want to try out Nadex. It is a little bit harder, all right? It's more comparable to stock options trading than binary options trading with the terminology, strike prices, in the money, out the money, that kind of stuff. It's more comparable to that. So it's a little bit harder than regular binary options, but Nadex is a very safe platform to use. So if you guys are looking for safe, Nadex is the way to go. If not, I would say I don't have issues with Pocket. I like Pocket, my personal preference. All right. Let's see. What's up? How's everybody doing? Rico, when do you usually come on YouTube? I don't really have a set YouTube schedule yet. As you guys know, I just did a YouTube live a few days ago, telling you, pretty much announcing that obviously I had resigned from being an educator, go live educator in IM Academy. So that was my last live, and then I was like, I told you guys I was going to do a live and an actual video today, well, this week. So I'll make sure I get that done for you guys. No slacking and no excuses. So I got that in for y'all. Live is already done, so you can expect a video dropping this week as well. All right. My music was low. All right, let's see. I'll be on here with you guys for about 3 more minutes, and then I'm gonna go catch up on some power. Who here watches Power, by the way, guys? How many of y'all watch Power? All right, so let's see. All right. Yeah, OTC, I mean, so there's a lot of people that trade OTC. I'm not saying OTC is bad, but I am going to say that if you're looking for the actual market prices, OTC is not it. So there are people that trade on the weekends, right? You can make some money on it, man, but I just personally don't do it. I like to trade when the market is actually the market. I don't like to trade OTC. There are people that do it, though. I know a lot of people that trade weekends. They make money on the weekends. I personally don't. And yes, on Pocket Option, you can trade weekends. It's OTC. All right. Sheesh. Aaron Frazier. I've been on Nadex for 10 years. Hey, man. Big ups to you, man. I haven't even been trading for 10 years. So you got some skin in the game, man. You got some skin in the game. That's crazy. Whole decade on Nadex. Yeah, the team. We're definitely going to get rocking and rolling with the team Zooms and stuff like that. I was actually going to do one yesterday, and I forgot. We had another call with another group from, on the team. Then I was going to do one tonight, and I'm like, you know what? I promised the YouTube fam that we were going to do this. So I definitely got the squad, man. If you're a member and you're part of our group, we're going to get those Zooms rocking and loading. And we're definitely going to be diving deep, answering the questions, and making sure that you guys are good, man. So I see the chat is doing what it has to do. You guys are lighting this chat up, man. No, I do not have Telegram anymore. I do not have Telegram. I've actually really been slacking. I'm supposed to be making this Facebook group. As a matter of fact, you know what I'll do for you guys? I'll do it right now. Let's do this. The Facebook group is live. All right, the Facebook group is live. So what I'll do is I'm going to drop the link to the Facebook group. All right. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to be active in it just yet, but just so that you guys get it, you guys will be the first to know when I start actually posting in this Facebook group. I'm just not, like, I haven't been on Facebook in so long. I'm not fluent with the Facebooks, the groups and stuff, man. But let me see. I'll drop the Facebook group in the chat right now because I did make it. I did make it. And I can't find it. I can't find it. All right, hold on. Oh, I think it's this one right here. All right, so this is the, if you're on this live right now, you're gonna get a sneak peek into the Facebook group before it even goes live. So don't judge it. Nothing is live. I don't have moderators or anything like that in it yet. So just give me a second. How do I even share this? Here, I thought I was like, you know, tech savvy, and I can't even figure out how to share. Oh, invite. Okay. Share group. Okay. Copy link. Boom. All right, so I'm going to put it in the chat right now. I don't even know if I can drop links in the chat. Let's see if that worked. So you guys can go ahead and click that. If it works, awesome. If not, I guess it doesn't. I'm pretty sure that's it. All right, guys. So I do not, again, I don't have a Telegram anymore. That is the Facebook that's going to be right there. If you're watching the replay for this, if you guys haven't done so already, we got a lot of people on here. Make sure you guys drop a like for me before you hop off of this live. And if you're watching a replay, you made it all the way here, and you found some value in it, obviously drop a like for me. All right. The likes, the shares, the comments, you know what I'm saying, the subscribers, all of that helps me with the whole YouTube algorithm. And I'm trying to smack 100K, man. You know, it's so crazy. I started this whole YouTube thing with absolutely no intentions of even being like a YouTuber, right, as they call it. And I just absolutely fell in love with it. And it's crazy, you know, 2 years later, we're at almost 100,000 subscribers, man. It's crazy because I do this, like, I do the whole YouTube thing part-time. You guys know I only upload like maybe 2-3 times a month. Man, 100K in 2 years, man. We're out here breaking records, but I appreciate you guys. And hopefully you guys enjoy the content. If you do, like I said, if you haven't done so already, subscribe. Let's continue to run it up. I am expecting to drop another video for you guys this week, so stay on the lookout for that. Make sure you have post notifications on. And we're going to go ahead. We're going to wrap it up for tonight. Go ahead and click that link. Join the Facebook nice and early. And we're going to go ahead and see y'all on the next video. So it's your boy Rico, a.k.a. RockStarrFX. You already know the vibes, guys. I'm out.